In this world, angels live among us. Many great invincible beings of immeasurable power, a bridge between us and the gods. These creatures are not as you might imagine them. While some are human-like in their appearance, most are alien. A sitting mountain, a giant boar, a hovering sphere. Each of the angels provides a powerful boon to the surrounding area and its inhabitants. They do not speak to us. They do not move. We built our world around them. They shaped our cultures. We rely on them. Until something dark came along. Now, one by one, the angels have been slain. The people of the lands around them slaughtered. A wave of death is spreading across our world. Only a few places remain as a final bastion of life. Only a few against an endless horde of oblivion. And within these few, a single band of unlikely heroes, bound by forces beyond their understanding. In this world, there is only a single word that describes their soul-bound connection.
Scrambling up from below are the sounds of large claws on stone as the Bloodwrought Rats approach Seer's location. The sounds sort of echo off of the caverns before you realise they're kind of all about you. One is coming up from behind you, but two are coming up from behind Seer, as well as the one that breaks free of the sort of wooden crate that it was sleeping in, that Seer struck on the head. You didn't do any damage to it, did you? No. So,
no, I failed.
Great. So, for three of you, standing with Bibble, Bibble is once again sort of saying, "Hey, stay still. They'll eat him, and then we'll run past." You do hear scraping coming from behind you, however. Seer, you're right next to one, and you recognise that there are rats all about you. And we're going to open up today's session by rolling some initiative. Place yourselves. Seer, you can't really move anywhere. You're just stuck where you are. The other three can move themselves in amongst this sort of grey area. And then roll me some initiative, please. And I will roll for the rats and Bibble.
Nice. True to form, never over 10.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I got a maximum roll, which is 31 on my initiative.
You got 31.
I have an important question.
What? I have an
Are we
important
level
question
7?
as well. You level 7?
Or
Yes.
do we okay, alright.
Oh, I thought you were saying that you hadn't leveled up previously.
Now I was wondering if we had leveled up last week, but never mind.
Wow, Bibble got a dirty 20. Okay, so I wonder who's going first here. It's Thrak with a 31.
Jeez.
I don't even understand how.
I think he stole all of my initiative. That's what happened here.
Absorbing
I've
everyone's
got-
initiative around him.
I'm a time wizard, So
You know what,
I get
that
an extra
actually be
1d8.
Automaton.
an amazing ability or a thing that's on like a thing is that there's a ring that absorbs the initiatives of everyone around them.
Oh, that's
Oh.
yeah, like maybe just a bit.
Yeah,
Like
maybe you
2
don't
or
you don't
something.
roll your own initiative. You just
take
start
half of
with
everyone else's.
half of everyone else's. Yeah, it would be amazing. There you go.
That's so cool.
GMs, take that away. You're welcome for the free item or ability. Okay. Time Wizard. Yeah, you are the first to respond here. 31 probably means that you're witnessing time in a different way to everyone else as this rat breaks free. You recognize that there are some crawling up from underneath you and crawling up onto this sort of broken piece of the bridge, the blood river running underneath. And Sia now with sort of 3 of these rats kind of aggro to him pretty obviously, since they're not really aware that you guys are here. And there is one, however, that's coming up behind you that you'd be aware of as well. What would you like to do? Opening up the combat.
Right. I think yeah, Thrax sort of sometimes, it doesn't always work, but sometimes you get sort of like spider senses style thing. And time just sort of slows down for him, right? So he sees this all coming, and he already has a spell prepared. And he immediately casts a magic missile at the green rat.
Okay, yep, that's the
Down
one
here.
coming up behind you, scrabbling up over the side of this thing. And yeah, these things are big, bloated and twisted from feasting on the angel blood below. They are the size of a horse, but they're kind of like grotesquely mutated, so they're kind of like muscular and yeah, bloated. Magic missiles.
So I'll go ahead and do that. That's going to be, it's just at level 1. That's 3 darts. And that's 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage as these 3 magic missiles, sort of arcane missiles, homing missiles, launch out of the end of this staff. The rat is scrambling up over the edge, and maybe you were hoping that the impact of some of these would stop its movement, or maybe even push it off the edge. It just eats it. It doesn't even seem to sort of really recognize it, maybe twitching its nose a little at one of them as it scrambles up over the edge.
Okay. So it doesn't seem like it's taken any damage at all?
Oh, it's certainly taken damage. Yeah, it took the full 9
Okay.
damage. It's just that it has a lot more HP than 9.
Got it. Okay. And I'll move over here.
All right. Bibble will go now. Let's see. You guys rested, right? Yeah, so I think it'd probably be a good idea for him to start with his bloody guard. Oh, this is a bonus action. I'm not sure I used it as one last time.
Just double checking when we
yeah.
rested. We rested before at like the beginning of last session, right? We didn't rest again at the end.
Correct. Yes, you had a long rest before the events of the last session that you did.
Yep.
And then you had another short rest.
Okay.
Just during that time. But yeah, you are in a position to be able to do a long rest in terms of your bowl of sheltering has recharged. I think it's been like 10 hours, but you haven't had a long rest. Bibble draws some blood up and draws some blood from the air. Whoever, you know what, any of you, if you'd like, if you're witnessing this or you're curious, this is the second time he has cast this spell. You can make Arcana checks if you'd like to determine an element about this spell. He starts sort of whirling his staff around drawing blood to it. And then he casts this spell, the blood flinging outwards. Jilden, he's actually drawing blood from all of you, including himself. He's taking, it's just like he's taking little tiny amounts of blood, porous, and osmosing it out of your bodies, including his own, including the rats. And he draws a bunch of blood in, and then he flings it out, and it creates these shields, the blood shield that just sits over your skin, kind of just gives you a sort of slight red hue, as he gives AC bonuses to himself, Cirrus, and Thrak.
The next time you're going to take from me, at least ask first.
What?
Don't wreck. I'll have a word about this in a minute. I'm blaming myself angrily.
Yeah. You guys have a +2 to your AC for 5 minutes. And remember, he can move this, but he seems to have chosen himself and Thrak and Cirrus this time. Then I think what he'll probably do is he sort of looks over to you, Thrak, and says, "Oh, why have you done that then? Alright, I'll try and help you with this one here." And then you see him hurl a ball of blood at the same rat that you attacked. Now, why can't I roll that though? DC 12 dex check from the rat, a 21 from the rat. The rat sort of brings itself up onto the side. This blood ball is launched towards it, and the rat kind of moves with sort of exceptional grace considering its size and bulk, dipping out of the way of this thing, the blood landing and splashing over the edge and running down into the river of blood. Okay, well, I guess with his turn, here come the rats. The first one I think that will attack is this one that's coming up behind you. I think the first person it sees is Cirrus, so it's going to rush for you, Cirrus, and it is going to attempt to bite you and claw at you with a 16 versus your AC and then a 7.
That misses both.
Okay. Now, Sia, round 1. This could be unfortunate. You know what? I think they're going to properly surround you. Yeah. All 3 of these guys are aggroed to you. They're not even aware of the others because this was part of Bibble's plan, unfortunately. Here come lots of attacks. Okay, so 3...
Gentlemen, please. I'm sure
3 bites as they suddenly rush up over the edge. Sia turning and preparing himself, getting into one of his stances as these 3 enormous rats jump and rush. 1, 2, 3 bites. 15, 10, 10s. I think they all miss.
No.
3
Yes,
claws. Natural 1, an 18, and a 19.
The 18 and 19 hit me.
Alright, roll me a d20 for this rat to mess up this critical failure.
A d20.
Yes, please. I'll let you roll for
9.
the consequences. A 9 is that this rat has pulled a muscle and its speed is halved permanently. Well, until its next rest, but...
Shouldn't have eaten before fighting.
Yeah, I'll have to
Happens a lot,
remember
yeah.
that one.
Big stretch.
I'll give it a little symbol that I probably won't be able to see because I'm zoomed too far out. So remember that one. Blue rat is speed halved if I try and move that thing. Okay, and then these 2 hit. So 1, 2. I shouldn't have used that one. It's just the 7 and the 4 slashing damage.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Cirrus,
Yes.
your turn.
I am going to attack the green rat with my sword.
Okay.
For 16.
16 hits.
For 6 slashing.
6 slashing damage. Yep.
Yep. That's it for me.
That's it. All right.
Yeah.
Sia, surrounded by 3 of these enormous rats, sort of jumping around. You're sort of dodging and weaving. A couple of them catch you with claws, but you brush off the attack. What are you doing now?
Alright then. I think I smile. You see the eyes on my forehead also widen into a bit of a grin. I'm going to attack the one that's red with my staff.
Okay.
For a 20 to hit.
When he
I
hits.
think as you are doing this, you might hear a shout from Thrak. Sia, get out of there! I'll let you decide what you want to do with that.
Oh, I want to say
yapping.
canonically that was what also Thrak said.
I also
that was Sia.
barked.
That was Sia responding. That was Jilden turning into a CR0 dog, a little terrier.
Chihuahua.
Chihuahua. It wasn't my Chihuahua. There is a Chihuahua here presently.
Okay. If I must. Well, I attack this thing and hit him for a 12.
12 is a miss. Oh, you 12 damage.
no.
Sorry. Yeah.
With 12 damage, sorry.
Yep.
Then I shall attack again with the same attack with my staff. For a 22 to hit.
Yep.
Alright.
Another 7. Yeah.
Okay. Then I shall just roll this for my own sake. I hear Thrak say I should get out of there, and so you see me sigh, and then as I sigh, the rats around me, I guess, they're doing whatever rats do. They're chittering and such, and I, as I breathe in and breathe out again, you see this pink electric mist kind of leave my breath, and I get lighter as I engage a step of the wind to disengage, and then move 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35,
All right.
40.
First of all, my favorite character out of Demon Slayer, but I can't remember his name. The one that has to be asleep.
Oh, right, Zenitsu.
Yeah. That's how that looked to me. And I think, yeah, you're kind of like, you see Sia kind of deal a few strikes with his quarterstaff, and then suddenly he is gone. The rats kind of like look around. You see them lifting their noses and sniffing the air, and then turning back towards where you as a group are. And Bibble says, "Oh, what are you doing here? They're gonna come for us now."
Exactly. Send to the rats.
Okay, Jilden.
Alright. Stand back. Cover your ears. I walk over to this edge of the wall. Well, I suppose I'll be shuffling over. To this edge of the wall here, and I'm going to cast Thunder Wave, which is a 15-foot cube originating from me. So I think that should catch all. Wait, maybe not the back one. Might be too far away.
Yeah, you get these two.
Yeah. So they need to make Constitution save.
All right. 1, 2, 19 and a 22.
Wow, that's so cool. They both save, but they'll take half damage. Wow,
Yeah,
that's
it's
two.
These are Bane rats, so they're very chunky and.
Oh, that didn't work.
Wait.
Anybody got a better plan?
Can you?
And
What was your plan? I
um,
see my hands over my ears.
it would have still been very loud. You'll have heard an ear-shattering crack of thunder, and probably a lot of the dust on the bridge will have gone woof outwards. But apparently these rats are like dug in with their claws, so they just don't move.
I have a little graphical glitch. Can you just use the ruler again in any way? Because I can't click on my own rats. I can only see the ruler for some reason. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, you deal 2 damage. It's nothing. They're not even aware of it, but they do sort of immediately see you, and you see all 3 of them target Jilden suddenly. It was a good plan. Okay, anything else on your turn?
A great plan, even one might think.
I don't want to judge you too harshly because you have had 2 incredible combats in a row up until that maneuver there.
Yeah.
So
Which,
you-
in fairness, would have been great if they hadn't saved, because they'd have been pushed away from me. So it would have been
yeah.
okay. Goodbye. I'm done.
In the next
I
life.
am
Okay.
going to. No, I'm going to stay as I am. I'm just going to stand here and just plant myself. End of turn.
All
What's
right.
she doing?
Rack, back to the top of the round.
Yeah, after I shouted at Sia, I immediately looked down and I have something in my hand and I was closing my eyes, sort of chanting an incantation, whispering, and I opened my eyes and I spread my hands out and I finished the incantation, and black tentacles start to sprout up out of the ground around the rats in a 20-foot square.
Okay. Is this the something of Hadar spell?
Hunger
It's
of
called
Hadar?
black tentacles.
Oh, this is
Oh.
just black tentacles. Okay, hold
Hunger of Hadar is white tentacles, actually.
on. All right, I don't know. I never get to play D&D and DM. I have no idea what any of the spells do because I never get to play wizard characters because the characters never get a high enough level. And I never get to cast spells. So I'm really looking forward to you guys getting out of this set of tunnels into my next
Don't
area.
you have a wizard character?
There's
that
so
don't
many
kill
wizards
us all.
waiting for you on the other side of the.
Very excited about that.
No, I rarely remember anything as the actual truth. All right, I'm going to try and give you a cool looking spell thing because I'm guessing you're going to use this a couple times. So. bear
Yeah, I
with me a
should have
second.
asked you before.
No,
But
no, it's
yes,
all
this
good.
is something I will use.
I think I have an actual thing that is of like tentacles. I have so many. Yes, I do.
Description.
Is it a circle or a square?
It's a square.
Damn it.
20-foot square.
We're going to use this anyway.
And I'm not sure, when it says 20-foot square, I'm not sure if it means like 20 foot from corner to corner, or if it means 20 foot by 20 foot. If Wax in the chat,
Yeah, I don't know actually. Because a cube is different as well. And this is called black tentacles. Alright. Let's check this out. So that is 20 foot across. You should be able to move that.
Well, that's cool.
yeah, that's very cool. All right. Yep. Okay. Yep, I put it right on those three. It is not on Jilden, so you're safe. And they don't have to do anything right now.
Right.
But at the start of their turn, they will have to make a dexterity check against my spell save DC.
Oh, you're saying it's 4x4 squares, so it's... Yeah, this is what we've got.
That's,
It.
that's
Cool.
correct. Right
sweet.
on.
Okay.
I know we talked about this before, but just to
Mhm.
get it around my head. So it says when a creature enters the area for the first time, if it's been spawned underneath them, does that not count?
That's not how we've been playing it. That's not how it's been explained to me.
Yeah,
okay.
I feel like... but then again, sometimes it does specifically say if a creature starts its turn there or moves into that turn on its first time. Give it a goog.
It does say that.
It
Yeah.
does say that.
It says when a creature enters the affected area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there.
Yeah, there you go. So that's why. I find that the best way to go about reading D&D terminology and stuff is that they specifically word things in a certain way for a reason.
Yeah.
Like everything is worded, structured in a certain way. You just have to look for the key wording. They have a particular way of wording everything, and after a few years of running games, you sort of like, that's what you're really looking for. This is why I don't know what all these spells are off the top of my head. I just look for certain key phrases in there and figure out from there what it does. Cool. Alright, so on their turn they have to do a thing. You doing anything else? Bonus action?
Nope. I've got no bonus actions. Got nothing.
Okay. Bibble looks at you, Thrag, like, what the fuck did you just summon up? And he says, Right, stand back. Come here. And he starts gearing up for his one Kamehameha he can do. Now this is a line, a 100-foot line that I think he can probably send through these two, so I think he'll do that. The spell is actually Lightning Bolt, but we canonically, and no one in character has any idea of what a Kamehameha is, which means I can get away with this. You hear him scream, "Ha!" and then he launches a line of lightning from his hands. They have to make dex saves here. 1, 2. A 13 and a 14. His spell save DC is 12, which is a shame. So they make it, but they take half of 32 damage still. So
16
damage for you. 16 damage for you as this sort of force crackling with energy launches out from Bibble's hands. It's his sort of biggest move that he's able to do. It pushes him back a couple of squares as well as he launches this thing out because he's so small and frail, and it the energy sort of just pulses and pushes through these rats, electrifying them. They do react to this. They react and spin, sort of expecting something to be there that's attacking them, like an animal might do from something like this. They spin around a few times. I think maybe the blue one kind of looks down towards this way, but there's also all of these tentacles coming out. They've got Jildan right next to them, so they're kind of all over the place. Bibble will then move one space forward, and it will be the rat's turn now. Now, let's do the black tentacle stuff first. So what do they have to do? Dex saves again?
Dex saves.
All right, we're going to go
It's a 15.
blue, pink, red. 1, 2, 3. 18, 14, 21. So pink fails.
Yeah.
And
so
that
they
for
take
audio
the one
listeners, I've realised that quite often we say stuff like the green rat and the blue rat and stuff. And, audio listeners might not understand that each of the rat tokens have coloured tokens to be able to differentiate between which token on the map that we're using they're talking about. I just feel like that might be really confusing sometimes. It's not that the rat one of them is green. They don't come out, one rat is a giant green rat and one is a blue rat, and every time, all of my creatures for some reason are color coded in that way. That's what we're talking about, and I just want to clarify that because I think it every time we say the blue rat. Maybe I'm just being pedantic about it. Yeah, okay. So
Someone
give me the
somewhere is nodding, going, "Thank God."
Oh my God, this whole time.
Oh my God. Makes so much sense.
Or
I
I've
get
ruined
it
it for them
now.
because they were like,
Yeah, like,
I love
They
how
thought there was blue rats running around.
Yeah.
one of them was blue, one of them was pink, like Power Rangers.
Yes,
Yeah.
a dramatic universe.
So, I'm sorry, you said the colours really quickly. Which one's
The pink
which?
one failed. Pink
Pink one
Ranger.
failed. Okay, so the pink one is restrained
Okay.
and takes 3d6 bludgeoning. The other two are good.
Right,
I think
restrain.
I
Give
can
me the
click this and
damage.
we'll just go. 11.
Yeah. And takes
pretty
11
bad.
damage. Yeah, I think these
That's
tentacles
incredible.
wrap around this rat, wrapping around its back legs and around its waist, holding it in place. It starts nipping and biting and clawing at the tentacles, but is restrained for now. And the other two are still free. Okay, they're free to free to attack.
Free to check the king.
Yeah, free to check the king. I think actually I'm going to do this to you, Jildan. I'm going to sort of block you in this way. You're
You
welcome.
bastard.
You know what? And just to be sure, because I know what players are like, I'm going to go there like that. I'm going to checkmate you fully. Because I think you're going to... Well, technically there's a wall I can walk along. Well, there's not anymore. All right? You guys are level 7. It's time to grow up. It's
You
time
don't
to-
even understand the level of bullshit I have up my sleeve. You
I
don't
know,
even have a
dude.
clue.
I know, but I got to work with what I've got on this side of things, and they're just rats. Okay, let's do some attacks. Both of these are going to come in on you. Gildan, 2 bites from these two, and 2 claws. So a 15, a natural 20, a 14, and a 24.
Yeah, the 20 and the 24 will hit.
All right, 1 bite. So that's all of that there. 2, so 4, what is that, 12?
That looks like maths, mate. What are you doing?
12
Oh, okay.
piercing. Well, it's 6 piercing and 6 necrotic damage. I don't know if that... I don't think you have resistances, but... and then 8 slashing damage. The one that bites you is the red one there. You see that the blue one kind of slashes Gildan, and one of them bites her. When the rat that bites Gildan takes hold, you see it absorbs some of Gildan's blood. And I say absorbs sort of in an arcane way. It isn't like it slashes this or it bites into you and sucks it up like a vampire. You see it kind of arcanely take in some of your blood in a sort of as a magical essence, and it has +2 to its attack and damage rolls.
Point of order.
For
what is the rat's total speed? Can you tell us?
Yeah, this one, the rats can move 40 feet.
Okay, so in that case, blue rat's speed was halved to 20, and then they had to move through difficult terrain to get to Gildan. Did they make it still?
Yeah, you know what? You might be right here. So half is 20, so it could get to there, and half again is 10. And it came from where, here? Or was
Like
it here?
triangle. It was there, yeah. The triangle's here.
So it can move 10 feet.
Yes.
Is there, so it could still attack, but you aren't pinned in. So feel free to...
Wait, why can it only move 10 feet?
Because it's half and half again, right?
Because because difficult terrain plus when it got a natural 1, its speed was reduced by half.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
This one rat
I
has
missed
only
that part.
got-
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that was
That's perfect.
the tentacles were difficult terrain either. Cool. And then an attack on Cirrus from the other one down here. A bite and then some claws. The claws being a 24.
Yeah, the claws hit.
All right, another scratch for you for 9 slashing damage here.
Okay.
And that is the end of the rat's turn. How does this rat escape its restraint? Does it make a check or is it just...
So, as here, a creature restrained by the tentacles can use its action to make a strength or dexterity check against your spell DC. So it can go again, either strength or dexterity.
21.
Yeah, so it's free.
Cool. It's
But,
free.
but its action's been used, yeah. So
Right. All right, so it still has movement.
yeah, but it is on
So-
difficult terrain.
Yes, it is. Let's have it move. I think I might have it run away from the tentacles because it is going to be afraid of them. And then I'll just have it end its turn there as it just runs backwards away from the tentacles. Because it's aware of what they are in its very basic animalistic way.
Yeah, it was grabbed by him and was like, what
Yeah.
the fuck was that, man?
Yeah, it's
Ran
doing
off.
that kind of thing. Cirrus, your turn.
Yeah, I have a question.
Hmm.
Do the rats look necrotic?
When you say necrotic, what do you mean?
Well,
Like undead?
if I were to hit
or-
them with necrotic damage, would it do less damage?
I don't think there's really any way for you to determine that unless you have
yeah.
an ability. You can. This isn't really a thing.
thought
This
you
isn't
could
really a
do
thing you
that.
can do. But sometimes I will give you those checks if it makes sense that you can sort of passively make a quick perception or an investigation or an arcana check or
Yeah,
something like
okay.
that. Alternatively, and this is just something that I think you can take moving forward, everyone has the ability to do the sort of Final Fantasy Libra move and just scan a thing. You can use an action to use a perception check, an arcana check, an investigation check. If you guys ever want to just determine information about a thing you're fighting, that isn't something that we can justify you get just passively. I don't mind a couple of little checks like that every now and then, but something this specific, I think you'd have to take
Yeah.
you know, every round is 6 seconds, so you're having to sort of just like really analyze what you're looking at.
Totally.
I believe that's like a high-level warrior thing to be able to like determine certain things like that anyway.
Yeah, there's a
Got
few
it, okay.
things that let you do it. There's a couple of abilities in some of the classes. I think I had one on Ty when we played Spellwind.
If there's a fighter, yeah.
Yeah, but I also think it's fine if you burn an action, you might be able to determine based on your, you know, whatever roll you get, some information. So some things like resistances or just random information I might give you. Anything specific like whether it has a resistance to necrotic damage. But I don't think you can tell. These things, you know, they don't. You've encountered a lot of undead stuff over the last couple of months in game, in character in game, and but these things are very much alive. You know, they. The weird thing about being under this mountain is it's the first place since leaving Uma and Moon that you have found things are still alive down here in this mountain. You know, the Wendigo was a living creature. The rats are a living creature. The Darrow are down here as well. But yeah, so this it just looks like a sort of weird, gross, mutated, sort of forcibly grown rat. You know, if you were to just sort of like roid up a rat. That's really what you're looking at. They definitely have some sort of arcane thing going on. They've absorbed some of children's blood, but I don't think you really noticed that. So I'm going to say I don't think you can tell just passively.
Okay. Okay, good.
But I wanted to sort
I don't
of
think that
clarify
Cirrus
you can cast a Libra ability if you want.
Okay. I don't think Cirrus would at this point. I just wanted to make sure before I do what I'm about to do that they weren't like very obviously necrotic and I would have seen it. But Cirrus is not thinking super much like that. So I'm going to cast Inflict Wounds.
Okay.
Oh, 13.
13 is a miss. I think instead of this being a thing like you have to actually touch this creature and you have one sword in hand and you reach forward for this rat, but even though it's large and it's got a large surface area, this thing's pretty quick and it has the animalistic reflexes and it whips away from you as you sort of begin to attempt to cast this spell. The necrotic energy, the divine energy that allows you to cast this spell coalescing and missing as the rat ducks out of the way of this spell, going in for its sort of own attack, which would take place on another turn. But yeah, you miss.
Okay. Oh man. Okay. I'm in a pickle. I was really hoping on that Inflict Wounds. Okay, then I'm going to cast, as a bonus action, Sanctuary on myself.
Okay. That gives you even more AC? No, that's the wisdom bullshit one.
It means they can't hurt me. Yeah, they can't hit me.
Alright, and that's it? Your turn?
That's it, yep.
Okay,
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, your turn.
I see the Bloodwrought Rat in the south, the green-tinged one, facing Cirrus. Attack. I see Cirrus cast a spell on herself. I see the other ones surround Jildan. I look both ways, then I look at Thrak, and then I run north towards Jildan. As I do, I think my eyes look to Thrak knowingly. The other ones on my forehead look straight on towards the creature I'm running towards, which is the pink one, which I noticed expel this notion of fear. I'm going to run towards it, 40 feet, my maximum movement right towards it. Then I'm going to attack it, as per usual.
Okay.
For a 19 to hit.
That hit.
6 points of bludgeoning damage.
Okay.
I'm going to invoke my Crusher feat to now reposition it 5 feet to the east, back into the tentacles.
Okay. Which means immediately it has to make a dex save. 5 is a fail, so it takes the damage and is restrained again.
gets
As it gets
restrained.
thrown into more
and-
of the tentacles.
Yeah. These tentacles just start pummeling it as it comes back into range and grabbing its legs
Yeah.
for 12 bludgeoning.
This one's actually looking weakened now.
Restrained means I have advantage on melee attacks, yes?
Maybe. Let's find out. I think so. Thought there was a time I knew all of this off the top of my head, but since then I've suffered a great deal of trauma and no longer
Brain
spell my own
damage.
name. Full-blown brain damage. Restrained. Restrained. I don't know how I have restrained. Restrained. A creature's speed becomes 0. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage. And it has a disadvantage on dex saves as well.
In which case, I swing at it again with my Bloodwood staff for a 16 to hit.
That hits.
11 points of bludgeoning damage.
It's on death's door, but it's not dead.
Okay. I throw the staff down to the floor with a clang, and as I do, I then do 2 punches, left and right, at the creature. 10 to hit.
And misses. Smack
23 to hit.
You smack a tentacle by accident, maybe. Yeah, give me the damage.
9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Yeah. How do you kill it?
Well, okay, so I come in, I punch it, and as I do, I think I just kind of startle it again. With my purple hue, I kind of almost resemble a tentacle as well. You know, same purple, lithe, and so it jumps into the writhing mass of actual tentacles, which grab them. I swing at it again with an arc to its head, and as I do, pulling it back, as I mentioned, I throw the stuff to the ground, and it hits the ground. And at that point, I then punch twice again, you know, off the hip, as if like couched, you know, like a lance. 1, 2, and I think that final punch just cracks right in front of its nose, and the stuff bounces back up, and I catch it, and it's dead. I'm standing, I'm ready, and I'm looking to the other ones to the east.
Okay, nice. End of your turn there.
End of my turn.
Jilden's turn.
I'm tapping my staff in my hand, like, come on!
Like a
Plan A's never
flashlight.
failed me before. And I cast Thunderwave again.
A flashlight
plant
in
my staff
every
in the
movie
ground.
and every TV show ever, even though it's a brand new flashlight.
I just
Okay.
put the batteries in this thing. There's 2
Yeah.
con saves.
2 con saves. A 22 and a 17. I roll really well in this
Jeez.
campaign.
You
I
really
mean,
do,
it's-
man. Every time I do any sort of save, it always
Doing
fails. But there we
great.
go. They still do 9 damage to each of them.
All right, cool.
Better than the 2 damage.
Yeah, it's the sort of same scene.
What is
I think.
happening?
Oh,
It's
God.
this banger has made me better my staff. It's leeching all of the power from it. And I'm like trying to take it off, but I'm struggling because I'm being bitten by rats. God damn it, get it off my staff!
She actually put a bangle on her staff, listeners.
Yeah.
Is that
Okay.
the one?
That's the one that you made. Yeah. Attached it to a staff.
It's nice.
That's nice.
You
Nice
made
to
that.
appreciate.
He made that.
I made
Hey.
it. I made it and shipped it
Oh
to
my
her.
That's what I'm asking.
I'm a smith.
That's what I'm so confused about.
No.
Alright.
She means Thrak made it.
Okay, yeah. You take off all the makeup and it's Cord under there.
Imagine.
Cord's just such a good role player that he's able to literally be you in real
We're
life.
actually all cord.
Everyone's
I
Cord.
coached him for a weekend. All it took was a weekend, and he can do a perfect me.
Okay, Thrak, your turn. Top of the round.
Yeah, all right. Well, you know, I'm just going to cast Fireball on top of these people since they ran in there. No, there's the pink one dead.
Yes.
That's all
Sorry,
right.
I accidentally hit
Okay.
Control Z. So I inputted the damage wrong on the
No.
other one, but
Wrong.
I think I inputted the damage wrong on one of these rats, and they actually, I think one of them, Jordan, did look like it took a bit more damage because I miscalculated. So you're welcome.
Yippee.
I don't know what it was on before, and I can't be bothered to figure it out, but I'm pretty sure it might have even taken double damage from that Thunderwave. It was
Now, remember when you just
spell
looked
magic.
up if he had advantage on a restrained target? Do I from range?
Any attack rolls, yeah. It just says attack rolls, so yeah.
Excellent. Okay, I'll just do a firebolt on the blue rat.
Okay. Wait, the blue rat isn't restrained. It's got its
Oh,
movement.
neither of them are restrained, are they?
No, its movement is halved because of a natural 1 critical
Right.
failure
Okay.
consequence.
Never mind then. Yeah. Yeah, I'll do it anyways. I'll do a firebolt.
Okay.
Right, so top of my staff, some light coalesces and then firebolt shoots out of it at the blue rat. It is a natural 27.
Nice. Give me the damage.
16.
It's good. This rat looks like it's on death's door now after that. Yeah, I think maybe the firebolt that comes out is like twice the size that it normally is. You know, you just get these surges of arcane energy the same way sometimes you get like a little surge of strength, or you're feeling good that day, you ate your protein. And I think, yeah, just a little sort of spellwind arcane surge launches towards this rat, and it takes a little extra damage. It sort of reacts that way as well. This one does not look good right now. Anything else on your turn?
No, that's it.
Okay. I think Bibble will just do the same thing. I think he's going to try and launch Blood Ball at that same rat, sort of just following you as the two of you launch these attacks. 19 from the rat on its dex save means he misses. Bibble, I think, probably just gets a little closer to you, Thrak, during this. He tends to gravitate towards someone, whoever is in the least amount of danger, during combats. And here come the rats. Let's have the two that are currently attacking Jilden make their attacks. Here we go. 1, 2.
Let's have them do their dexterity saves.
Oh
first.
yeah, you're right. Yeah, let's do that. 1, 2. 6 for
double
red.
fail.
14 for
Both
blue.
restrained.
Both restrained, and they take damage.
Yep, 12 bludgeoning.
Killed. Blue one. Ooh.
Oh, thank God. He just rolled double 24s.
Yeah. The blue one, you see these like tentacles wrap around it and just crush it. You see the creature just being brought down.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's nasty. The other one is crushed and it sort of reacts to it, and then just in a sort of spasmodic bite goes after Jilden. Landing the bite, it does have a +2. That's actually a 26. So you take 11 piercing damage, 2 necrotic damage, and then also 2 more piercing damage and 2 more necrotic damage, because this thing is sort of has blood magic, where it is able to absorb some magical essence from your blood, which it does again, and it gains +2 bonus to its attack and damage rolls.
Stop taking from me!
So it actually has disadvantage on its attack as a restrained creature.
Ooh, could have been clutch. Is clutch, because this one was the 24 and the 11. So actually a 13 misses.
Yes,
Right, reclaim all of your HP. All miss.
I remember.
Nice.
And since it attacked, it can't try to roll to get out this turn either.
Yep. Does it only get 1 attack? No, it wouldn't matter.
It doesn't say that.
Yeah, I don't think it matters, because that's not how multi-attack works anyway. Claws coming in, natural 1. Leah, roll me a d20 for another consequence for the rats.
15.
15, it takes 1d6 HP as it opens a wound, trying to sort of like, in that thrashing and writhing around trying to escape this thing, whilst also sort of bloodlusted and trying to eat Jilden. It injures itself. Roll me a d6 and it'll take that much damage.
Okay.
Okay, another 5 damage for that one. There's one attacking Cirrus. So here come 2 attacks towards you. A 21 and a 24. Cirrus.
It has to, because I have Sanctuary on,
Yes, it
it
does.
has
Wisdom.
to make a Wisdom saving throw.
A 9. Does that fail?
Yes.
Okay, it's going to rush past you then. It will...
Okay.
You can use your reaction to make an opportunity attack if you want.
Ooh, that's right.
And
because I'm a Warcaster. Yeah, and because I'm a Warcaster, I can use a spell.
Okay.
I am going to try and hit it with Inflict Wounds again. 16?
16 hits.
Oh my gosh. Cast at level 2. That's 19 damage.
19
Necrotic damage.
19
19
necrotic
necrotic.
damage. I think you, by the way, get the sense that that does full damage to this creature as you run. I think it actually loses its attack as well, doesn't it? Because you can't move with Sanctuary. So it loses the attack that it attempts to make. And instead, as it kind of moves towards you, tries to bite you, you put your hands on it and deal all of this necrotic damage, this sort of dark magic running through and across the rat's flank, injuring it. And that actually is the end of its turn, I think. I think it's going to just stay there. You can't move, it just loses that attack. So it is now your actual turn, Cirrus. That was your reaction.
Awesome. I'm going to slash at it with my sword. 14
14 hits. 14 is their AC.
for 9 slashing damage.
9 additional slashing damage to this one. Okay. Anything else from you? You have a bonus action?
No, I think that's... Is it out of my... No, I'm still engaged with it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, that's it for me. Thank you.
All right. Sia, your turn.
Okay. First question: is this red creature, the red-tinged Bloodwrought rat, is it restrained?
Yes.
Yes.
I'll
Yes.
put a little thing on it.
So it cannot move.
Correct.
It cannot
Alright
move.
then.
It has disadvantage on dexterity saving throws, and attack rolls against it have advantage, and the creature's attack rolls have disadvantage.
Okay. All right. And the creature that's by Cirrus, that is in melee range of Cirrus, right? She can swing at it. It can hit back. Yes.
Yes, that's right.
All right. In that case, I look at Jilden. She seems to be more than capable. I've been, just trying to keep as aware as possible to the combat. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to run down south, my full move, like 30 feet here. I believe that was 30 feet. I didn't broadcast it, but it was from here to down here, 30 feet.
I believe you.
And then I'm going to, again, have my left hand flat. I'm going to then put my right hand on top of it and then contort it so I stack my fingers up and then crush them to the shape of a spider and push my hand towards them. You kind of see nothing happen at me, but towards where the spider is, you then start to see its fur start to wriggle and writhe as I cast Spider Infestation on it.
Okay. So what do I need
it
to
needs
do?
to make a Constitution saving throw.
On save. 22.
It saves. I guess it only takes half the poison damage. So instead of 7, it's only going to take 3.
All right.
That's my turn.
3 damage. That's the green one, yeah.
Yes, in fact, I'm going to 5, 10, just move my full movement towards it.
Okay. The green one is looking messed up at this point, by the way. But it is still alive and sort of confused by Cirrus more than aware. I think, like, your infestation, you recognize, Cirrus, that this thing is already covered in, like, weird little gross blood lice. so it's very used to being infested. Jildan, your turn.
Yeah, you like playing with claws, do you? And I will use Primal Savagery to just lash out at this rat in front of me.
Okay,
For
you have
14
advantage.
to hit. Oh, well, 14 hits anyway, doesn't it?
It does, but you can roll again to try and get a natural 20.
Yippee! 19. Oh, so close.
Yeah.
Not really close.
That
Would have been
hits,
dirty
yeah.
Anyway. 14 acid damage.
14 acid damage.
Wow.
Yeah, Jildan's strong. This hurts it. I think you rake a claw across its face. This one is looking messed up as well. Both of them look like they're on their last legs, but still going.
But yeah, that is me done. Now I'm more comfortable and I like crouch down to meet it and I'm like, yeah, give me something else, sonny.
Okay. Frank, your turn.
Yeah, I look at Jildan and I shout, that one is already dead. And I turn and I'll cast a firebolt at the green one.
Okay.
He was talking about me, wasn't he?
Clearly he's fully pointing at
Well,
Jildan.
that's up for your interpretation, I suppose. As the firebolt comes out of the end of my staff, it's a 13.
Miss.
That's a miss.
Yeah. Over the top of this thing's head, striking one of the cave walls. The gems that are all throughout the walls light up as the fire hits it. But it's a miss. Anything else?
Oh, that's it.
Bibble will just continue to copy you, I think. I'm going to throw a blood splash at this one. Natural 1 from the rat, which means it takes the damage. This actually strikes it. The sort of ball of acidic blood that Bibble is throwing towards this rat down here strikes it, burns the side, the flank of the rat, but doesn't kill it. It is, I think he shouts to you, Cirrus, right now, strike! But instead, the rat is going to try and bite you again, Cirrus. Another whiz save. An 18, does that mean it
Oh
makes
no, it doesn't have to do. It doesn't have to do a whiz save because I hit it last time.
Oh,
so
it
now
breaks
the
it,
spell's
does
over.
it? Cool.
Yep.
All right, here we go. Here's some attacks for you. A 22
Oh god.
and a 9.
The bite hits.
Okay. It's going to deal 9 piercing damage and 2 necrotic damage to you. It also sort of absorbs some of your blood as magical essence.
Okay.
The other one starts its turn. Needs to make a dex save, is that right? With disadvantage?
Hold on. A creature that starts its turn in this area and is already restrained by the tentacles takes 3d6 bludgeoning damage.
Alright, give me that damage.
Uh, 14.
Another one is crushed and broken by the black tentacles. It is brought down. Jildan just continuing to hit it on the head. While its
Bathing in
corpse
blood,
continues
Jildan.
to be crushed and twisted around, turned over by the tentacles. Nice, yeah, Cirrus.
Okay. I'm going to attack it once more with my longsword. 11.
This is why you should have made her that magical sword when you were in the forge and you were like, she never uses it. An 11 misses. This thing just kind of like
+7.
dives out of the way of your longsword.
Okay. Then I'm going to cast Healing Word on myself.
Okay. Sia, can you defeat the rat?
Can I defeat that rat?
Mm-hmm.
I shall give it a try. I run towards it. I then shove the godwood stick or staff, or it's not really a staff, it's... well, I do what I do.
Just a
I
branch.
vault off it, fly, the godwood branch. I shove it into the ground, I vault off it, and I attack with a 21 to hit.
Anyone's gonna hit?
for 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
How do you kill it?
Okay. As the staff comes cresting down from up on high, it lands straight onto the head of the rat and carries down forwards towards the ground. That chin of the rat hits the pavement with a crack, and as it does, you see the fur that was writhing around start to just break open as tiny pink spiders start to crawl out of its head where blood should have been, and then you see one fist-sized spider come out and crawl up Sirius's back, and it sits on the shoulder.
Okay. Yeah. The last rat falls. The sort of twisted form of these giant grotesque rats falling in an odd angle. The black tentacles turning over the rats' bodies that have been caught in those tentacles. And you are successful. Bibble sort of leans back against Thrax's thigh and says, "Oh, I hate those things. I usually just creep past. Whew. Well, great job!" And he gives a thumbs up to Sia.
I gave one thumbs up. And, yes. Not quite sure what a thumbs up means, but I return it anyway.
Right.
I walk up to Sirius and hand her a potion.
Thank you.
Potion is one of my spells. It does 2d4 plus 2. If it's a potion of healing.
Do I need to roll, or you?
It's yours. You can do whatever you want with it. You don't have to use it now if you don't want to.
Okay. I pocket it. Should we rest?
I have no complaints.
Probably a good idea.
Terrible idea. Absolutely terrible.
Is there a place nearby, Bibble, that we could rest?
Well, there's only 4 of these rats, right? There's probably a nest.
I agree with the goblin.
Aye.
How many rats would be in the nest?
Oh, I don't know how many of those things there are, but they do not stop coming.
Right, well, we should keep moving then.
In
Very
that
well.
case, I drink the potion.
We could rest at the door. At least we'd have our backs to something.
I have no need to rest if the party wants to keep moving forwards. We do have a task to do, and I can't tell if it's day or night, but time is of the essence here. The world is ending, or has ended. Does time even matter? I look to Thrag.
Yes, it's just that I will be of no use to you any further unless I rest.
Ah. Very well. The fist-sized spider is busy weaving a web in between Sirius's horns.
Disgusting.
What?
That was out of character. I'm disgusted with your decision to do this spider stuff.
I have no idea what you mean.
Yeah, well, I think you'll have to lean on us for now as we continue to move along. I don't think we can rest here.
All right. Be careful then.
So you get 2d4 plus 2.
It tastes like Red Bull.
It tastes like Red Bull.
It tastes like. I love Red Bull.
Bibble sort of turns his staff around to the pointy end and just sort of like pokes Thrax's arsehole with it.
I'm sorry.
What he's
He
doing.
goes right up the
I mean, you've got
arsehole.
clothing on, but he's poking at you between
Yeah.
the cheeks.
Yeah.
Go on,
What do you want?
go. We gotta go, right? You want to get to the door? Off that way.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start walking. Don't do that again.
Oh, right. Ah, well. Okay, all right. On you go. And then he winks at Chilton.
I wink back.
Okay, yeah, you guys start moving through the along this sort of broken section of the large Darrow-built, dwarven-built bridges that sit above the river. Everyone, roll me a d20, please. Flat d20. 19 from Jilden. 12 from Thrax, 17 from Seer, and a 4 from Cirrus. Okay. Soon the river actually departs. You get to an area where you find the end of the river, and the glow of that angelic blood gives way, and it falls to practically complete darkness. You see Bibble sort of pointing in varying different directions. He says, "Hey, there used to be a way down there that would take you out to the water. You could go all the way down this little path. You'd come out at the sea. You know, the creatures would come up from the water, though, bastard things, so we had to block that off first. And then that way, that would take you all the way back out to the forest, but the other side. We don't want to be going to the other side. You want to come out on the safe side, right? What side do you want to come out?
Presumably the safe side.
Aye. Safe side?
Wait, is that like a historical name, or how have you verified this?
Well, this side is where we're going. You want to go to the No Lands. You're trying to get to the House of Knowledge. So you come out right on the edge of it, where we should be. If you come out that side, you'll come out in the Riverlands. So, you know, it's up to you really, but I don't think the Riverlands are very safe now. It's harder to see. It's chaotic. Madness.
I'd hate a bit of chaos. That would be terrible.
Right. That's
And
you know, humans too. Don't trust them.
good, you shouldn't. Terrible.
Aye.
All of them.
Well, we need to exit whatever side is closest to our destination.
Right. Well, you're never gonna get to your destination, but this one will take you to the No Lands proper. That'll take you out of the Riverlands. No point going there unless it's D. Which it's not, so, you know, don't need to go there, right?
How can you tell if it's night or day in a place like this?
Well, not day, D. I guess you can roll a religion check or some other history check. You can roll.
Natural 20
Nice.
for 24.
Yeah, and the rest of you can do it as well to have this knowledge. Bibble says D-H-I, not day, D. Thrak and Seer, you're fully aware of what D is. D is a ceremony held by the people of the Riverlands, where everybody bathes in the water, because the water there is a stark, well, it's sort of a contrast to the river that you've got flowing in the mountain here. In the Riverlands, there is an angel that sort of flows. The rivers all flow to a central point, and then it continues to flow upwards vertically. So there's a point where the rivers start to flow upwards, and then it flows upwards into 4 sort of arms, like a fountain, and then that rains over the surrounding area constantly. And there are ceremonies and festivals that are held, known as D, that where the people here go and bathe in the rivers. So they get the effects of the angels' buffs. And that's the Riverlands. It is, however, not quite where you want to be going. It's kind of on the other side.
And he said it's not D right now, correct?
Correct.
And it's a seasonal thing? Not like a time of day?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Roll me a
Yes.
D24. Let's see what time it is. And we'll see if he knows what time it is. It is 2 a.m. Let's see if Bibble knows the time. Yes. He says, it's probably night time. I'd say early morning, probably. To answer your other question, I don't know why you're looking at me like that. You asked if it was day.
I was wondering how you did know. How can you tell from a place like this where there's no natural light?
I've been doing this job a long time. Since I was a wee little skinny boy. With nothing but a, big heart and bigger scrot. But learn things. I'll figure it out. I'm one of the only Dirrell that gets to open the doors and have a look
big heart, the
outside.
biggest scrote. Right.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
famous words.
Right. What do you think? Well, we should continue on then. We haven't made it to the door yet, have we?
No.
Okay.
The Blood River has passed, however, and you're just moving through an area that feels a lot less like the bridges before and starts to become more like sort of standard walkways and sort of hallways, really. It's still quite large, but it seems to be significantly smaller with the natural cavern of the river behind you gone. You start moving into smaller little areas. He says, it's just up here then. Bit of climbing. Not climbing, but, an incline for your wee legs. So prepare yourselves because it's a bit nasty. And it does start to incline, and it isn't steps. It's an actual incline that gets quite steep that you have to start trudging up for a little while here, maybe about 20 minutes before Bibble brings you to another door, and it's very similar to the one that you came through. Again, it's pitch black in here, so those of you with dark vision, maybe someone lit a torch for Jilden, I don't know. If not, Jilden's been stumbling through the dark for the last 30 minutes.
If it's pitch dark, I think I notice, and so yet again, left hand flat as a plane, right hand flat as well, contorts into a stack, and then it resembles a spider if like a torch was to shine through it. And as you see, like 3, how would you say, like neon pink spiders, kind of just crawl out of the gaps in the floor and kind of light her way like a runway. And every single time she passes one, the one in the far back dims, and another one crawls out from in front to take its place.
Yeah, so you can see this thing ahead of you, and he brings you to a door that is sort of built somewhat into the natural mountain that comes down over the top of it, and then some of the mason stone around it. But the door is very different to the other areas of the caves that you've been moving through, because it's pretty much almost all been exclusively masoned out of stone or the natural cavern itself. The door is a big iron thing, an enormous door, really. with all of these sort of pipes and pneumatic parts to it. There is a couple of like symbols on the door, but it doesn't seem like a magical door in any case. There is a pretty large looking indent at the center of the door, and Bibble stops before it and says, "Right, let's see if this thing still works. Can't remember the last time I opened this one, to be honest. We decided to keep it closed, so prepare yourselves. I don't know what's on the other side of it. Didn't they want to know what was coming out of the Nolands after all the, what's it went down? So I suppose I'll." And he pulls out a set of his huge ring of keys that he's got, and he starts counting through them. It seems to be the way that he figures out the keys. He counts for a little while. Once he gets to key 33, he pulls out just a circle of iron, is what it is, sitting on the end of a sort of key ring chain, and he presses the circle into the sort of circular depression on the door, and it creaks to life. This huge rusted iron thing popping and unlocking with a sort of odd pneumatic sound. The door doesn't open up, it just sort of seems to unlock, and before he sort of pushes the door open, he turns to you all with his hand outstretched and says, "Now, it's not necessary, of course, but it is customary to provide your guide with a little tip for the effort. I accept rare gems, artifacts, magical things, rarities, and of course, fingers."
You're not coming with us.
Out there. You're mad? No. I live here. What's out there but death? What do we have here? Nothing but life.
Seems to me you have your fair share of death here too, no?
A lot of us are dead, granted, but there's still 14 of us alive. The river's flowing, we got food, rats.
I've held on to his bangle because he put it on and then promptly died.
Yep.
I'm gonna crouch down or like kind of get on one knee so that I can look at him in the eyes because I'm tall, and hand him the bangle and say, "Now, you have to be very careful with this, all right?
Aye.
You have to not use everything it can do. A little bit at a time. Like
Right.
the blood. If you were to use all of your blood, you would die, right?
Okay.
But if you only use a little bit, then it can do good things for you."
Let me just roll an intelligence check for him. A 12. He says, "Alright, yeah, okay. I do appreciate this gift. Is this your tip? I thought this was just a friendly gift. Between friends."
Yeah.
Immediately clips it on. Ah, bastard thing.
I rummage around in a pocket and bring out a handful of random gems, about 5 or so. Any of these take your fancy?
Aye, he takes all 5.
Yeah, right, you can have them.
Aye, that's nice. What's that then?
It's a bullshit night. It's nice, that one. It's quite rare.
Aye, okay. That's a good one, aye, okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Alright, thank you, Jilden.
Don't eat them.
He puts them in his pants. As in
Yeah,
his
that'll do.
underwear. That's where he keeps them.
They're family jewels, of course.
He's looking at...
On
He's still looking at the 3 of you, including Cirrus, expectantly.
Could you describe the
We're-
area around us?
It is the end. It's a almost discarded hallway, like as if it's not like a grand entranceway or anything like that. This is like if you were going to a club, this is the back entrance, like this is at the top of a steep sort of incline that was masoned stone underfoot, It's pretty wide. It's probably about 40 foot wide. Significantly shorter than and way less wide than the other areas that you've been in. But it's still quite tall. It's probably like 12 foot tall. Significantly tall, especially considering these are Darrow and they're quite short. But it's kind of just an open area, and around you is mostly natural cave. Some of it's been kind of masoned back and smoothed, the stone. But yeah, and then you just have this huge doorway ahead of you.
But
very,
we're
very,
past
very
the
little
bridge
going.
and we're past the bridge and the river and all the
River of
hazards.
Blood was, yeah, about half an hour ago, maybe 45 minutes ago, and then you started walking up about 20 minutes ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said we're high up?
Well, when you first entered in the first doorway, there was a sort of spiraling downwards, and you went down for quite some time, and you get the sense that you went deeper into the mountain. Some of the bridge that you'd been traveling on, you've been traveling for quite a while, multiple hours. It's probably hard for you to tell, but you've done a good trek through this mountain along these bridgeways. But you get the sense that some of them were taking you deeper and deeper downwards. You were constantly going downwards, and eventually you've come back upwards again. You're probably about as high up as you were when you came into the mountain. You've been subterranean for a lot of this traversal. I'm just going to give that to you because you're a drow.
Right.
And you're aware of that. But also I think you'd generally be aware of it because you had to go down quite far to get to the river at first and then come back up again to get away from it.
So where we are, there are no more drops?
No.
Okay.
No, you're no longer on a bridge or anything.
Okay.
Yeah, you went back into the mountain itself, and this has been carved out of the mountain.
Okay.
I reach into my pack and I pull out one of the Quaggoth fangs that I've been carrying
I like how you
for a
pronounce
while
that.
here. Quaggoth?
Yeah, Quaggoth Gin.
I had the same thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I hand that to him.
What's that?
It's a Quaggoth fang.
What's that?
It's a frozen creature, a large beast of a creature that lives in the far north.
Alright, that's going to impress them all, that is. They're going to like that one. He puts it in a pocket, in his robe.
I'll reach into my knapsack of holding, and I'll take out a little bongo drum and hand it to him.
Was that a hat? What is that?
No, it's an instrument. You tap it with your hands.
It does so. It's like that cat tapping the bongo meme. You know? He just immediately starts tapping it. It's awful. I love that. That's fantastic. That's going to piss off Rich. Right, so I've never had a drow finger before. I'm kidding. I've got plenty
feel
of drow
that?
fingers.
Do you feel that? That
What?
percussive beating in your chest after every breath or so. That's your life given back to us, courtesy of the group. Treasure it. Keep that as your tip.
Alright, no need for threats. You don't have to tip me, it's fine. Customary, but that's alright.
I'll walk away.
He says, right, well, it's been a pleasure. Absolutely no chance you get where you're going. And if you do survive out there and you need to come back this way, just rat-a-tat-tat on the doorway, and I will be with you in, 2 to 3 business days, because it depends where I am. I'll get here eventually.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Bibble.
Thank you, Bibble.
Hey, thank you for the bits and pieces in my life.
You're welcome.
Okay. Let's see what's on, the other side. What's behind door number 33? And he sort of pushes the door open.
It's a fallout bolt.
You're in a fallout bolt. And what you see on the other side of it is a sort of haunting testament to the scourge that has ruined this world. The light washes in first. Actually, no, it doesn't. It's 2 a.m. So there's nothing but darkness on the other side. But there would be some light, some moonlight. That gives you an idea of what's going on out here. You see Bibble kind of look a little forlorn as the door pushes open, and he kind of looks about and says, "Aye, well, there you go. It ain't what it used to be out there. That's a sad sight. Well, good luck on your travels. Somewhere in this forest is the real thing, if it avoided the blight, of course. After you." And he moves out of the way. And outside is the Nolan's Forest, a sort of haunting testament to the scourge that was once a sort of lush and verdant expanse teeming with life. It is now a sort of desolate wasteland. The air is heavy with a sort of oppressive stillness. It's immediately a forest. There are trees here that are black and deadened. There is sort of a faint rustle of skeletal branches with these trees. But where they were once sort of towering and green, they're now twisted and gnarled. Their bark is all charred and cracked, sort of resembling grotesque sculptures of their former selves. Even the ground is barren, just sort of an expanse of sort of ashen soil. Brittle, lifeless leaves sitting on the underfoot. There's a sort of unnatural fog as well that's clinging to the forest floor. It casts a sort of bizarre twilight in the moonlight. And the silence is weird. It's almost deafening because there are no birds, there are no insects, there's no buzz, there are no animals stirring at the door opening. It is this horrible, chilling reminder of the evil that blighted it. A place where life has been utterly extinguished. And as you all step forward and out, once again, out into this kind of blighted forest, Bibble says, "Cheerio!" And you hear the stone door close behind you.
I wonder how long Bibble and his people will live.
I give it a week.
I'd be surprised. A resourceful bunch they are. We managed to swindle us out of a bunch of stuff anyway. And to get all of our rations.
Their angel is very much alive.
I suppose, how do you kill blood?
Don't ask a question like that in a place like this.
What do you mean by
Children.
that?
You're just asking for trouble. Something out there to take it as a challenge.
Noted.
Jilden, can you, I don't really, I apologize for my ignorance. But can you connect somehow to this forest?
Well, I mean, I'm already connecting. I can tell this place isn't happy. I start making a show and kneeling down on the ground and putting both my hands down and my face flat to the ground, listening, trying to pay attention to it, bullshitting, basically.
I would probably try to see if she's bullshitting. I think. Is there some insight I can roll there to see if she's full of it?
Yeah, Jildan, you need to either make a performance or a deception check, and then everyone
16
can roll an
performance.
insight against that if they'd like.
Oh yeah, she's good.
Yeah, she's doing some
She knows
legit
exactly what she's doing.
forest bullshit.
I'm just leaning on my staff, just sort of like watching her, like nodding.
Jildan, did you do any sort of check for this place? Like, do you have knowledge of this forest? It's not too far from where you were born, really.
I would
but it
have
is
walked
kind of
through
close by.
likely because I walked all the way around these areas to get to Moon, so it's potentially. I'll roll and see if I walked around this area on my way in. I'll
Somehow
roll
you'd encountered one of the Darrow before, so it's not impossible
Yeah.
you've been up here before.
a campsite, I reckon.
This is north of where you're from.
All right. Evens, I've been here. Odds, I haven't. I've been here.
Okay. Yeah. There is a forest just north of where you were born. I don't know if we've said it, so I'm referring to it as where you were born. Like, I'm
Let's
not
keep
sure.
the mystery alive. I love it.
Which makes it sound like we're going to suddenly reveal that you were born in Manhattan, and there's going to be we're going to jump the shark.
My
but-
name used to
and
be
it's going to mean
Michelangelo.
it's going to mean something when we reveal the name, but it's not the case.
Yeah, Orcish was Cord, but Brad was PB all along.
There is a forest to the north of you known as Arvindor, which is a very, very large forest, very elven, and is like, well, I guess I'll give you what I have on Arvindor because it's not a big deal. Wood elves live here, and the place has like an unnatural beauty or an unearthly beauty. Unnatural makes it sound evil. It's not really that. It is so beautiful that only the elves can handle the beauty of it, so you pretty much need to be an elf to live here. Anyone who isn't of elven lineage has they sometimes will be driven mad. It's that beautiful. It makes you go crazy if you spend too long there. So I'm not saying it didn't drive you crazy, but maybe you pass through there. Easily the most beautiful place on the planet, including the meadows, the flowers, and the canopies of Arvindor are unreal. The forest to the north of that is known as the No-Lands, which is where you are now. Somewhere within the No-Lands, and what is presumably most of the No-Lands, is the area known as the House of Knowledge, which is also known as the No-Lands with a K in front of it. Whereas this is the No-Lands, which is spelled Nolands, and these are colloquial names given to this area of the forest by like humans and elves and stuff that live nearby. Because this place doesn't really have anyone that lived here. This place is the area outside of the House of Knowledge, and it was, last time you were here, a very lush and verdant area filled with teeming with life, but it has no real like angel or populace. It's just sort of its own area because it's sitting on the edge of where the angel is supposed to be. The angel of Ogma is supposed to be within the House of Knowledge, but the House of Knowledge itself is almost completely inaccessible to mortals. You have to be a Fey stag or a Fey creature, a true Fey as well. You can't just be a Fey kin or an elf or something. Even a sylvan sort of high leveled elf would potentially struggle to find this place. So yeah, I mean, you would know that, and you would understand this kind of area, and you would know it to have been an incredibly beautiful forest. Not quite on the Arvindor level, but yeah, this doesn't look like it at all.
Is it still dark out? It's 2 a.m., I presume.
Yeah, I think it's like 4 a.m. now, but yeah, it would still be dark.
Okay. The dancing lights, or the spiders that were the dancing lights, are no longer there, but the spider that's now made a comfy little web in between the horns of Cirrus, its abdomen starts glowing a verdant neon pink, and it pulses, and that is now in place of the dancing lights to light the way to make sure that those who cannot see in the dark can see in the dark. But it's kind of selfish because the spider is really just doing it on its own accord to get flies.
While Jildan is on the ground still, I'm gonna climb down next to her and put my head down, and I'm gonna try to quietly whisper, Alneas is not lost to you.
I freeze immediately.
I was told
What
by the
did
angel.
you just say?
Alneas is not lost to you.
I turn and grab her by the shoulders and shake. What do you know? What do you know of him? Where is he? What do you know?
I know.
Tell me
I'm sorry.
everything! Now! I need to know
I know.
everything!
Jildan, that is all I know. I spoke
what do
with
you
the
mean
blood.
that's all you know?
I spoke with the
Aeneas,
angel.
Are you in there? Is that you?
No. I'm sorry, it was a message. It wasn't.
A
It was a
message?
message.
A message from who? A message where?
I spoke with the angel when I brought Bibble back. What was the angel's name again? Vol?
The blood of Vol, yeah. So you can
Blood of Vol.
Vol.
Okay. I spoke to Vol,
No.
and they said many things about how we had to continue and how to seek vengeance, and
That's what
I
they do.
just
They lie.
said-
They lie to you. They tell you what you want to hear. That's all they do.
but it
That's all they're
did
known
tell
to
me,
do.
it said tell Jildan Alneas is not lost to her.
I don't know anything about Aeneas. This is impossible. It's not possible. Have you been reading my diary? Is that it? You've been invading my privacy?
No, absolutely
Is this a
not.
trick?
I have no earthly idea who Alneas is, and I do not care unless you want me to. But until you say so,
No, you're not.
it means
Don't even
nothing to
think
me.
about him. Don't even think about him. Don't even let your mind wander over his name again. Forget him. Forget we ever had this conversation. You know nothing of him.
All right,
He's mine.
all right.
He's mine. Can't have him.
I wouldn't. I have my own. Can I ask you something?
I don't answer.
Is he your... Is he your angel?
I told you to forget about him. Do not mention him to me again.
Careful about this one, Jildan.
I
No.
nod and I tear my eyes from her and I walk away from her.
I whispered to
So-
Jildan. Not too long ago, she was playing with blood magic, who knows? Maybe yours is next.
Took my blood. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not the same. It's not the same. Once it's outside of the body, it's no longer yours. It doesn't matter. I stand up and just slowly walk away, mumbling to myself, looking at the trees and the scenery. Doesn't matter. Doesn't. It's fine. He'll forgive you.
I tilt my head, watching her go. I shake it.
Should someone follow her?
I looked at Thrak.
I would like to know your intentions, Seer.
What do you mean, my intentions?
You're just having a bit of fun. It's all
In
a
what way?
game to you.
Come now. We're here to save the world, are we not?
Yes.
I don't believe now is the time for an inquisition. Our good turtle friend is walking off into the distance. Surely you should go stop her.
If you don't want an inquisition, then you will cease these pointless questions to begin strife within our group. Or you will regret them. And I'll walk off towards Shielding.
I wonder what he means by that.
Yes, I wonder.
I shrug innocently at Cirrus.
And what about you, Seer?
What about me?
What have you lost?
It's quite a personal question. What have I lost? What do you
Yes.
mean, what have I lost? I believe we've all lost something. We've all lost the world, have we not? Everyone we know, cared for.
Yes, I
Everything,
believe that
every
you lost them
place.
before that. However, what brought you to Moon?
I believe I just deflected one inquisition. What's spurred this one on? You hear the strum of a small insectoid leg twang a string in between your horns. It's almost like a small stringed instrument.
If you choose to believe that we are not worth your time, and that this mission is not worth your time, that you'd rather sow discord between us instead of being united with us after everything we've been through, after everything we've done. I saw how you saved my life today. I saw. You can pretend all you want. This folly, this play you perform. But I think you're just as found as you were once lost in us. And we would keep you safe if you allowed it.
I think the eyes on my forehead kind of blink asynchronously at her as she says these things to me. I think my actual eyes, they don't really give off too much of an expression, save for when I tuck my chin in when she says I was found. And I think I crane my head and I ask her, what do you mean by not worth my time? Exactly. If none of this, and I swish my index finger around, just pointing just this way and that, none of this meant anything to me, do you think I wouldn't still be here?
No. And that's why your behavior baffles. It's confusing. You're confusing.
Oh. Oh my. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
Don't you understand what I'm saying? Just
I do speak common tongue, yes.
see, that's what I'm talking about.
What do you mean? That's what I'm talking about. I've heard that phrase before.
Nothing you say is direct. Nothing you say is honest. Everything is deflection. Everything's a riddle. You dance around answering questions or being who you are or showing us who you really are with the grace that you do in battle. Now, far be it from me to tell you how to live your life or who to be. But we care about you. And we care about this mission. I care about this mission. And I don't know why you seem to need to sabotage the things that are good.
I think when you say we care about you, again, my two elven eyes look... They don't really give off much of an emotion. They're kind of looking at you straight on. The ones on my forehead, again, they kind of almost flinch. You know, they squint as if they're trying to perceive something that's not there. But I don't know without an insight roll if you'd be able to tell any more, but I'm listening.
Yeah. I'm not going to do an insight roll because I don't think that Cirrus needs to know whether she's right. I think she knows she's right. Or she thinks that she's right.
Well, she's right to herself. I mean, whatever
Yeah.
you think is your own reality, however.
Yeah.
I look up to Cirrus, and I just shrug my shoulders and say, I'm here on this quest, just like you are, and the other two. I'm here to save the world. Why can't I have a little bit of conversation while we do it? I'm not too sure.
I think you know better than that.
What do you mean by that?
You know that you can have conversation, but you are smart,
Oh,
Seer. And you know the webs that you weave. And I know it's a bit of part-time fun for you. I know it's how you get your kicks, as it were. But this thing that we have, it is as delicate as a spider's web.
then speak straight, my dear. What do you want from me?
Work with us. Which
Am
you
I
do,
not?
but it's the things you say, you know? Like what you just said to Jildan about me.
What did I say?
You inferred that Jildan shouldn't trust me.
I never.
You know what, Seer?
Hmm.
When you're ready to have a direct, honest conversation, you know where to find me. I'm always around. But I've
That you
never been
are.
very good at playing games.
If you want a direct answer, ask direct questions.
Why did you come to Moon?
Why did I come to Moon? Much like most other people who just end up in the ass crack of the world, I was on a mission a quest, an adventure.
Does that mean you failed your quest?
Far from it. Why would you infer I failed my quest?
What was it?
Quid pro quo. I have a question for yourself.
All right.
Let's play the same game, play the same question. Why were you in Moon? I know you were there for quite some time, but why? You're not a Goliath? At least I don't think there's Goliath in you. I look around, I look up and down at her horns.
No. I take a deep breath in. My brow is furrowed and I look like I'm doing a calculation, but I'm not very good at math. I was a member of a war band for many years. I wasn't the most high-ranking, but I was up there. A leader sometimes, not always. My warband was like a family. And as all things end, it ended. We were overrun at one point, and everyone was lost. And
Is that how you got this? And I wave my hand, the one mirroring the one that's bound.
no, I was born like it.
Oh, I see.
Yes. I was the last standing at that battle, and I lost everyone I cared about. So I felt a call. There's a word for it. It's sortnal. It's the Black Night of the Soul. They use that word to describe sometimes why people are drawn to Voriel. In any case, I found myself on a ship, and I found that ship landing in Moon, and I was welcomed with open arms.
Sounds to me like you simply got an advance on everyone else's trauma on the losing everyone part. Suffice it to say that I'm not out here looking for God. Well, that's a lie.
What were you out here looking for?
Didn't I just say?
I look at the sky. And if we find him?
I suppose it makes no matter now. Since everyone, presumably, although I wonder if that's the case or not, is either very much dead or dying. My mission was to go to Moon and infer what I could about your rock, the mountain. Suffice it to say, I think I passed with flying colors when I got this, and I waved the staff about, not that it matters anymore, and I sheathed it.
What were you going to do after? Go home?
Home is a strong word for where it is, but yes, to return was the goal.
Have a quiet life.
Far from quiet, far, far from quiet, but different, more homogenized, perhaps, is the term I'd want to use.
Now I would like to do an insight roll.
Very well.
12.
Entirely up to you how to determine what Cirrus takes from that.
You don't seem to think that I'm necessarily hiding anything as I talk to you again, and whenever I do get into candid conversation, it's different. When I'm in battle, facial expressions are different. They're kind of a bit more telling, especially when against monsters. In conversation, if I'm being a shit, or if we're talking like this, my elven eyes tend not to have more than one and a half expressions, which is disregard. As I'm talking to you, there's nothing else with a 12 that you can necessarily make out. My eyes on the forehead are idle.
Okay.
As for your insight onto what I just said about
Yeah. Homogenized.
I meant what I said. You surmise that mostly drow live where I am.
Yeah. Did you not fit with them?
With whom?
Your people.
Ooh, that's a touchy subject.
Well, I know
Yes
what
and
it
no.
is like. So, yes and no.
Yes and no. It's a two-part story. Perhaps we should save it for some other time.
All right.
I wonder if that turtle's been eaten yet. I look off to where Thrak followed into the forest to find children.
I am glad to know you, Seer.
I look up at her, facing away from the forest, and I tilt my head. Incredulous? Very well.
I start walking in the direction that they left.
Yeah.
I stay.
Okay. Great idea.
And then follow.
Let's see if any of you recognize the name Elneus. Because it is possible. You have to roll very high. I'm talking like, basically you're going to have to pull a natural 20. So obviously Jilden, you don't have to do this, but Thrak, Sia, and Cirrus, you can roll either religion, history, you know what, religion or history? think?
I got a 26.
Whoa.
And 19, not a natural 20.
Yeah.
26 is high. Okay, so Thrak, you have heard the name Alneus, and maybe it takes you a moment. You know, after this conversation, you storm off after Jildan, and you can see her sort of tortle form with her walking stick moving through the sort of broken underbrush. You recognize that Cirrus and Sia begin having a conversation, and as you're following her, you sort of remember or piece together where you've heard the name Alneus before. Alneus is an angel in a very, very remote part of the world, very, very far to the northwest of the world. There is a monastery to Moonbow, or Sehanine Moonbow, the goddess of the moon, dreams, and transcendence. And the people at this monastery spend their time seeking visions through sort of any means necessary, basically. They take tonics and potions and sleep weeds, and they do meditation, and over the years the visions brought on by these monks have come true pretty much all the time. So lots of people who are aware of this monastery will travel there, but it is pretty much a secret, really. It's a closely guarded secret. I would imagine the only way that you could possibly know about this is through Hard. I doubt he's even written this down. He maybe told you this through some sort of, you know, like, trust moment. Maybe it didn't feel like one at the time, but maybe now you recognize they might have been. Because this is a really remote little village, and generally speaking, no one goes there. And the angel here is known as Alneus. And Alneus is a sphere, a perfect sphere that floats at the top of the, or at the peak of the tallest mountain. And this sphere changes colors between blues and reds, but predominantly remains cream in color. You can go up to Alneus, you can touch it, but no marks can be left on it. Paint, just anything. If you try and mark this thing, paint it, you know, whatever you try and do to it, no mark is left on it. And to touch it, it is entirely frictionless. So it's a bizarre sensation to touch this thing. It generates no friction whatsoever. It's only as visible as the moon is. So visible to the extent that the moon is, in the sense that during a full moon, Alneus appears fully corporeal. During a half moon, the angel is translucent. And when the moon is missing, Alneus can't be seen. And you can't really see Alneus during the daylight hours very well. So I think you know that, and that I'll give you that sort of information on it. There's some other stuff that you wouldn't be aware of, or maybe don't recall. But they're talking about Alneus, and it's bizarre that that Jildan would sort of have such a reaction to this angel.
Because this is far north, right? Northwest.
Northwest, yeah. Which is...
So I would know that she's definitely not from there.
Correct. Tortles, there are a couple of areas in the world where Tortles are from. I don't think Jildan has mentioned where she was born and brought up. But there are certainly no Tortles up there. There is an island in the west, sort of central west, where there are some Tortles. The rest of the Tortles are predominantly southeast, so like the opposite side of the world. Now, the opposite side of the world does mean you could take a ship and just, you know, go from the southeast of the map and get to the northwest of the world. But again, not many people really use boats and travel by boats. There isn't a lot of naval technology out there. But she's a tall. So, yeah, it's kind of I think it would certainly strike odd. But Elneus is a closely guarded angel secret. People do not share where Elneus is, and what these monks are capable of.
I guess my next question is, when they were having their argument, I'm not sure I overheard what Cirrus was saying. I know I heard what Jildan was saying because she lost her.
Yeah, he sort of whispered it to her.
Okay.
I think, right, Myre? You said you got down quite close to her and whispered into her ear.
Oh, that was me. Yeah, I got down quite close and whispered.
Cirrus, I meant, if I said Seer. Yeah, Cirrus got close. And then I
And
just
whispered
don't
it, and then,
remember if I heard the name Elneus or not.
I think Jildan said it a couple of times while
she
shaking
did,
me.
didn't she?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm trying to think about. That would be strange for me to have heard that.
She
and
has
then
said the
into-
word Elneus before.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think she did
okay.
mention it during the dragon freakout. Give me a sec, because Leah has disconnected from our audio thing, and we need her here for this particular conversation.
I can probably do both ends of it if you like.
Yeah, give me a second. I'm going to refresh
Yeah,
our.
There's
old
Orcish
Paul.
and Leah.
I'm going to try and refresh our session.
You don't know what you're
And
talking
if
about.
this,
Don't talk to me!
if all audio suddenly drops, viewers and listeners, then just bear with me for 30 seconds. Because it might. I'd go so far as to say that I've kicked us all out of the call and now I can't get back in. Can you still hear me, chat? Alright, we can talk about the game without the players for once. We can talk about secrets. Quick, ask me any questions. It's possible the entire site is down that we use for audio here. I don't know what the hell has happened here, so I mean, this could be the end. Be the end of the session. Let me see if I can just pick them up on Discord. We have a live channel. Hello.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
Yep. I don't know what has happened to the audio feed, but we'll have to survive without it.
The feed is less clean in here.
It is. It is. But yeah, let's answer your questions, and then maybe we'll just have to call it a little bit early. Let's answer your questions. Which was, I've completely forgotten. You were asking.
No, I was just asking. It's good that Leah's here now. Did you, when you were having just now, the bit of argument with Cirrus, like on the floor of the ground of the forest, did you say Elneus, like loudly, or I could have heard it?
Yeah.
I think you did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So if you weren't in the call, and you missed it, like I rolled and was able to.
Yeah. When
I
did
know
you
things.
disconnect?
Oh yeah, it was only right as I sent the message that I stopped hearing you.
I don't know.
So I
don't
heard
know when it
most
was.
of that.
Okay. All right. Then I think. Yeah, you're the only one who's aware of anything to do with this angel Elneus as you sort of chase after.
Can I?
Yeah.
Yeah, you said that I would think it's odd because like I'm using a little bit of real world knowledge here, but I know that turtles don't really spend a lot of time in northern parts. They don't really like the cold too much. As far as I'm aware, I feel like they're all closer to the equator.
Same here. Most of the turtles are in warmer environments.
Right. Okay. So I can make that connection. Okay.
There's certainly none that are in the cold. I mean, there's obviously, you know, plenty of turtles around that would have travelled. But they're
right.
Most of the turtle homes are pretty temperate and warm.
Yeah. Okay. That's all I wanted to know.
Okay. All right. Well, for the sake of our entire audio thing going down, I think we'll call it there as we see you sort of chasing after Jilden here, pondering over the name Elneas and the angel that represents. We'll call it there. Thanks for watching, everybody. I don't know what happened to our audio. I mean, it's not a big deal, but we should be able to fix it for next week. Tune in next week for a very special episode of Quura, where I'm sure everything will be perfectly fine and not different whatsoever. See you then.
In New York City.